What is going on, everybody? Welcome back Saturday morning, back at it again. Excited to be doing this live. Got a very special guest, good friend Thornton. I'm going to bring on in a second here. And we're just going to talk about work, what I'm always talking about. We're going to talk about, how to stop living in a survival state all the time and how to actually enjoy your life. You want to be an entrepreneur and actually not, grind yourself into a pulp because there's literally nothing noble about it. There is nothing noble about it. Real quick, so the Built for Impact community is coming out soon here. I'm just getting some of the modules done and recorded. I've been working on this for a long time. And just talking about it real quick, who it's for. So it is for entrepreneurs and operators and high performers who are done being stressed out and burnt out and operating in fear, right? And you're like, and you've had success externally, right? You've done things in the external world and you've had success. Be like, there has to be a different way that I can operate from a more grounded state. So if you're looking for like a strategy where you think something externally is going to do it, some new strategy or tactic or plan, then the community is not for you, right? But if you've done all that and you've had the success and you reach the mountaintop and you're still like, I'm not feeling okay on the inside, I want a new way to operate, that's who it's for. So you can comment on this or DM me the word built, and I'll put you on the list when that comes out. And we can get it going. Gordon has his own community, which I'll talk about as well. So we kind of talk about the same stuff. But overall, excited to have him on. Without further ado.
There he is. Look at that. Look at that. What's up, brother? Good morning, dude. How you doing?
Good. Doing good. What's up in South Carolina these days?
Oh, just living in the Bible Belt, doing my thing around here, right? Just actually, dude, I have it was funny just listening to your intro, but it's like, that high performer thing, always going, scarcity mindset, right? Living in that fear. And this past like 2.5 weeks was the first time in I don't know how long that I actually just like unplugged from everything and was like, I'm out. I'm like, I am not doing it. And it was, I'll tell you, it was hard. I'm not going to tell you it was easy. Being someone that is like programmed to go and do all the time and then trying to shut it down. I was pacing around my house, not knowing what to do with myself. Like literally, I was like, what am I going to do? Right. Because our brain is just continually like wanting to be doing things and producing and all this stuff. And it was crazy. So it took me a good like week, maybe 10 days to like literally like and exhale and breathe.
That's crazy. Right? And that just goes to show how much we're programmed. I was thinking this exact same thing the other day. I've really been diving into like the subconscious mind and really understanding what it is, because there's two different. Some people talk about the subconscious mind, kind of like the universal mind and how it can give you ideas. But the other part of the subconscious mind is like our conditioned set of emotional behaviors and patterns and identities. And it's like what's running beneath the surface, as you know, obviously. But I was thinking the same thing. Like I was just thinking this yesterday, that my subconscious programming is to force and push still a little bit. Because what do I want to do? Like when I sit down to work at 7 a.m. in the morning, I will push myself unconsciously to like 2 or 3 without even getting up. And it's like I need to push myself to that brink because that's what I programmed my body to do, especially when I was starting the business. Right. I felt like I had to just give it everything I had. Yeah. So every single day my body's like just addicted to doing that. It's like being conscious of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy feeling that you get. I was listening to your the podcast link that you sent me over this morning, right? Or you sent over a couple, maybe a week ago, whatever. I listened to it this morning though, getting ready, just so I could brush up on, what you're building and all that stuff, man. And first off, I love your framework. I think it's fantastic. I love what you're doing with trying to help other entrepreneurs that, it's interesting what we do as entrepreneurs. Like we have like this spot where we just want to break free. Like we want to break free, right? That's what we want in our life, right? So there's really 2 things that we really want. I mean, I think there's really only one thing we really want, which is love. And not like the Hallmark love, right? Like not like this, like, oh, I need to have a partner that justifies me and, gives
not
me
romantic love, like Course in Miracles love,
right? But like the love of first of ourselves, right? The love of that we can create we can co-create our life with things that are much bigger and greater than us, right? And just feeling of love and acceptance, right? And that's really what everyone's going after. But most people always are saying, well, I'll go get that later. What I really need to do is, create some freedom in everybody's mind, and freedom is built off of abundance of money, right? Money's going to solve everything, right? Okay, so the thing is this: money is not going to solve anything. It's actually going to cause more problems unless you do the inner work on yourself while you're trying to make that money. Now, you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, and that's cool, because you're going to have to go through the process all by yourself.
You almost have to see it yourself. You can't, you know what I mean? It's almost like I saw Chris Williamson. He has a podcast, the Modern Wisdom Podcast. He's really good. It's like it's an unteachable lesson. It's almost an unteachable lesson. You have to go experience for yourself that it's not it.
You have to literally just, it's just what it is, right? But the thing is that you have to work on yourself and become a new person, right? You have to become like that 2.0 version, like you talk about in the built framework, right? You have to become that to actually even break the old frame of scarcity that you live in, right? Like this whole life is a freaking journey. There literally is no destination at all, right? And it's like the game is growth and expansion. The game is recognizing with awareness when you're operating out of scarcity, because again, that never goes away, right? You can have more zeros in your bank account, but then you actually start being like, I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to lose it if you have bad programming, right?
Yeah.
And so you don't know what to do. And so then you start grinding and hustling faster and further. And then you burn yourself out and you burn your whole thing down. It's the build and burn model, the build and burn model, the build and burn model. Right?
It is not a fun roller coaster. I'll tell you that.
I'm telling you. I've lived it too many times. I'm telling you, I'm sick of it. Right. And so that's why I was like, okay, this is the madness, right? So it's like, am I operating in scarcity? Am I operating out of abundance? Or am I operating out of prosperity? Which is really where we all need to be operating off of, is that third pillar of prosperity. But you can't just jump from scarcity to prosperity. You literally there's no linear path to this, right? Like, it's just like, it's chaos, it's madness, it's all over the place. And that's why it's all about continually working on yourself every single day, toning in, like just really getting in tune with your own awareness of how it is you're showing up and how it is that you're going to like activate your life and be the best version that you can be that day. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is. Right? That thing about the money though is so true. That's what really was the alarm for me. It's like, I'm not a millionaire, but like having 50 grand, 70 grand, 90 grand in the bank account, and I'm still as fearful as I was when I had 2 grand in the bank account.
Yep.
Okay, maybe it's not the money. Maybe the money ain't gonna do it.
Right. Totally.
I don't need to be a millionaire to figure out that freaking concept.
Nope.
It's like, in my thing too is like, I just got to the breaking point too, where it's like, and I talk to people about this sometimes, like, well, what if I don't figure it out? And I say, well, first of all, you've always figured it out. Okay, 100% undefeated, always figured it out. You're still alive right now, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just really getting to the point where like, I got to the point where I was like, I'd rather just not do this business. I'd rather just burn it all down than have to live in this state of being anymore. So that's when I got to that point, I probably got to that point like, 6-8 months ago, really, where I was just like, I was willing to give it all up just to be in this peaceful state. And guess what? I'm still here. Yeah. Business is still going.
Well, you guys have done it right too. Like, you've built a business that now you can't run, your business isn't going to run without you yet, right? At least I don't think so. Maybe it can. I don't think it does, right? But you've built it to a point where you can take time off and you can go to bed and you can still know that things are getting done behind the scenes, right? And that's a huge step right there, right? And that's living in abundance, dude. That's amazing. It's amazing, right? And then it's like, okay, how do I make the step to prosperity, right? And how do I take that next step? And I mean, that's my goal for this year. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out too, right? Like, am I truly aligned with what God wants me to build for my life and help other people? Like, that's where I'm at.
It feels good to be aligned though, just to do what you're meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
With no inhibitions, no restrictions. You don't give a shit, honestly. Like, how unrealistic it is in the moment. You're like, I know I'm meant to be doing this, so you're just gonna go get after it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing, because you following your, like, not to be coy, but like following your dreams that's what it is. Like, you following your dreams shows other people that, hey, you can do that too. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're in a corporate job or you are an entrepreneur or whatever the case may be, right? You can change. But as long as you keep fighting for your limiting beliefs, guess what? You get to keep them. Congratulations. You get to keep those beliefs. It's just absolutely incredible. Talk about, so what you're talking about here, something to prosperity, scarcity to prosperity. What are you saying?
Scarcity to abundance, and then to prosperity, right? So how I look at this is like, prosperity is the spot when you get in your life where you know that you can give it all away, and no matter what, it's all going to come back to you. Because you are literally living at a frequency where you are able to just attract and bring anything that you want in your whole entire life.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that might be woo-woo for a lot of people, right? And that's totally cool. But it's absolutely possible to be able to create anything that you want in this world. I truly believe that, right? Like 100%. And it's okay if you get off track along the way, because guess what? You're going to, right? And you're going to fail more times than you're going to win along the way. And that's okay. The thing is when are you going to continue to get back up and try again? Right? Like, I always tell people, I'm like, if you are not wanting to quit being an entrepreneur at least once a week, then you are not entrepreneuring hard enough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's just that's the game that you've entered into.
It pushes you. It pushes you.
You've entered into, you're not into being an entrepreneur to create a business. You are creating a better, bigger, best version of you. Because if you don't, you have no business. It will collapse because you will be stretched and expanded every single day in ways that you will never think are imaginable. Right. And so this is why, like, I talk about, you're built for impact, right? I call it the 8% method, right? But it's like, this is why my life is foundationally built off of 8% of my day, 2 hours spent every single day, every single time in my day, right? Of personal and business development, right? That's physically, spiritually, right? Emotionally, relationally, and in my business for 2 hours a day. It's a non-negotiable. It has to be done because I don't wake up being like, all right, cool, let's go attack the day. Let's go get it. Like, I'm not programmed that way. It doesn't do it for me, right? Like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, again, really? I got to do this again, right? And then I'm like, all right, I built the habit over time where I know what it takes for me to put myself in a position of personal power every single day. So I'm showing up as that best version that I can be that day. And I'm just it's a game of me versus me. It's a game of, am I going to listen? So Andy Frisella, I love Andy Frisella talks about it this way, right? He calls it the bitch voice and the boss voice, right? Right. I'm going to call it the I am voice and then the ego, right? We have these two things going on inside of us at all times, right?
Ourself, whatever you want to say.
Whatever you want to say, right? The light versus the dark, whatever it would be. Right? This is the cool thing. They're both good. They're both needed. We both want to have them there. The power is when you're able to recognize which one you're operating in and then being able to blend both of them together. So then you can actually be in your own personal power and be completely aligned with your heart and your mind. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, that's what it's about. And that's what it's about.
Making the unconscious conscious. I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That would even challenge too, and being vulnerable, obviously here. And we're obviously, we talk about this stuff. We're still on our own journeys too. I think that's the biggest thing. Everyone's on their journey until the day you die. Mm-hmm. So I think our biggest goals, or at least for myself, is to just bring this information to light, so that you guys can start to reflect on it and you can start your own journey. I'm not saying I've released myself from all this stuff and I'm this yogi, blissful person all the time, but I'm much more aware of it than I was 3 years ago. Right? And that's the work every single day. It's like I talk about, it's like getting on the horse. You just got to get on the horse every day. Guess what? You're going to fall off the horse. What are you going to do? You're going to get back on the horse. And as you ride the horse along, soon you're going to be able to ride the horse along without falling off. And then you end up not falling off that often anymore. But you got to make the conscious choice every day. And I think when people try to do this inner work and they're doing their meditations and they're reverting back, they're getting down on themselves. And that is a negative frequency in and of itself. That's one of the biggest things I dealt with. I would judge myself and I would revert back to the old way of being, right? Like my 1.0 self. that in and of itself, that judgment is what we're trying to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's forgiving yourself in that moment and just get back to it. And over time, you are reprogramming yourself. And I would say, even like, would you say that part of what you're saying, where you get up and you feel like you have to do it, is part of that still some programming from the past 20 years?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I bet. So, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to programming, it's not only just programming that I've developed; it's programming that's generationally been passed down to me from other people, right? And that's the whole thing. The trick of it all is that we talk about subconscious stuff and energy and all this stuff. Like, there's programming, there's frameworks, there's stories, there's traumas that aren't even yours, that you haven't even experienced in your life, that have energetically been passed down from previous generations to you, that you can't do nothing about. Okay. And so it's like, well, you can do something about it. Actually, you can actually be the one in your family that decides that, no, it stops with me. Right. And I'm not going to let it get passed on to the next generation. Right. Now, I didn't realize this until I had my own child myself, right? And that's just the process of life, of how things operate, right? But like, I know that I got things passed down to me from my parents, from their parents, right? That I held on to, that I had already passed down to my son, and still do to this day, before I even was aware of what was happening, right? And so that's where that inner work really comes into play. Like, meditation, in contemplation, that stuff's like, I call that the primer. That's like the primer work, right? That's like the non-negotiable stuff, of building up your awareness to what is so much bigger that's going on around us, right? And then after repeating those over and over again, that's like the part that will kind of like crack you open a little bit to allow you to experience like these big breakthroughs. And all of a sudden one day you're like, whoa. And it rushes in like a freaking fire hose.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a process.
You know what I think it is too? Because I feel like adulthood becomes about just unwinding all the stuff that you were programmed as a kid, right? Because we didn't even know that we were programmed. So adulthood is, for a while, just getting back to baseline. You're trying to get back to neutral so that you can then build the version of yourself that you want. Mm-hmm. And part of that is recognizing your beliefs and your programs. Hey, what is not me? What is not necessarily true? Mm-hmm. I think this is a really important thing to understand, is like, what is your truth, but not necessarily the truth of the world. People think because something they believe is true is just the way that it is in the world. But what if it's not?
Sure.
You know, you talk about like the 4-minute mile. People couldn't do it, and then someone did it, all of a sudden, magically everyone can do it. Right? Mm-hmm. They thought the truth of the world is that it was physically impossible to run under 4 minutes. And someone does it, and all of a sudden the belief is gone. People are hammering it. But that 0 to 7, though, right, is our brainwave states are literally in theta, right? Mm-hmm. 4 brainwave states: beta, alpha, theta, delta. Mm-hmm. 0 to 7, you're like a legit computer program, right? So if your parents are unconscious and they don't know about this type of work, they're going to act exactly how their parents programmed. And that's how they're going to program you. And if you don't become conscious in this lifetime, you're picking up their patterns, you're doing everything that they taught you, and then you're just giving it to your kids. And it just keeps going on forever until someone breaks it.
100%. I wasn't conscious about it until I was turned 42 years old, dude. So, like, you're ahead of the game as far as I'm concerned, way ahead of the game, right? And I think generationally, you guys are ahead of the game anyways, right? Like, I think, like, I'm obviously like Gen X. Are you Z or millennial? Which one are you? You Z?
I'm a Z.
You're Z, right? So, like you guys, and then I see my son, I see his friends and how they interact. Like, it's totally different, right? Than what we had growing up as well. But like, I didn't recognize it until I was 42 years old. My son was literally 9-10 years old at that point in time.
Yeah.
And it took a lot for me, and some massive breakthroughs that I had to go through, that to really come to this place in my life. Right. And that's why when you talk about like everybody has their own journey, we all have our own journey. Like, no one's ahead of anyone else. No one's behind anyone else. Right. Like, it doesn't matter. Just start showing up for yourself and for your family, and just watch what happens. Just watch what happens. It's amazing.
It really is.
It's really,
yeah, that just the awareness is so huge.
It is. It is. Yeah. I mean, but that's, you know, I mean, I could talk about these things over and over and over and over again. Obviously.
I do talk about them over and over and over again. Every day. You're probably sick of me talking about it.
As you know. No, but but it's so interesting. So like when you first started your journey down, like being a real estate investor, right? Like, did you ever think you'd end up here? No.
But also, you know what I finally read though? The Second Mountain. Did I tell you about that?
Oh, did you read it? Yeah.
Second Mountain, great freaking book. But I realized that, you know, in that book he talks about everyone climbs their first mountain, which is basically, you know, it's like a self-serving mountain. So when I started out the wholesale business, it was for me. I'm just going to make a bunch of money, and really it's because what I was doing is I was seeking internal validation through external things. So through the business, through the title of being an entrepreneur, through having a multi-million dollar business, whatever I thought would get me there, I thought that would give me an internal feeling. But when I, you know, had some level of success and I realized that wasn't the case, and it was like almost deflating. You know, it was very interesting. It was probably in September. It was like September of this year. When I stopped living in fear, my motivation to do the wholesale business increased significantly.
Increased?
I was almost like, I don't even care about this anymore. Right? And that just went to show me, I was like, oh my gosh, like the only thing that was driving me was fear. Fear of not being anything, fear of not being worth anything, fear of what people would say to me if I wasn't successful. That fear was running me. And when the fear was gone, guess what? God was like, this is really not, you know, now obviously I've kind of reshifted my viewpoint around where I'm more of a leader now and I am aligned in that fashion. But me, like being a salesperson, talking to sales, do all that stuff, I was like, this is just not it, right? Mm-hmm. But then my second mountain became about this stuff. I had to shift. I'm like, this is it. This is the answer. I was like, this is crazy. I need to tell everyone who's feeling this way. And I think entrepreneurs are some of the greatest people to help out with this, because so many of us are like, we should be going into business to help people because we love the mission and we want to serve people. Everyone's going into business to like make a bunch of money. That's just self-seeking, and it's empty. When you get to the top, it doesn't give you the feeling inside that you thought it would give you. So just learning to build that inner foundation. It's like what Michael Singer says. It's like, you're not okay on the inside. You spend your entire life chasing external things and trying to make yourself feel okay. But guess what? It doesn't work until you choose. That's what they say happiness is a choice. Love is a choice, because it is. It's a state of being. And then when you have the feeling, you don't even want the things anymore. And that's when they come.
No. And that's where you have like that, you're in this pit, right? And it's that money thing again. You're in this pit, right? But this is the trick of it too, because like you're in this spot and you want to break free. And then you work, you grind, you hustle, you get there, and then you come to this peak, and it feels great at first, right? When you first get those checks coming in, right? You're like, yes, okay, I made it, right? I did it, right? And then all of a sudden you start making $50,000 checks and there's like nothing.
Yeah.
You're like numb. You don't feel anything anymore, which is weird. It's weird because you're like, whoa, hold on a second. And that might sound really strange for people that have never done it, right? But that's why that first mountain is that money chase that you have to experience, and you have to go through it.
Yeah.
And then you get to that peak and you're like, wait, this is it? Is this really it?
It sucks. This is the worst hike of all time.
This is like, I just went through all this, like what happened? And then that new peak that you reached then becomes your new pit, right? And there's a whole nother thing you got to climb. That second mountain you got to climb, right? Which is the actual work you're here to do, right? And so it's just like, it's the most beautiful thing. And so what ends up happening though, a lot of people will never even make this climb. So if you're watching this call, or if you're looking at this, or if you're doing any of this work, like, let me tell you something, you are already like a 2% person in this life, because the vast majority of people will not do this. And it would scare the crap out of most people, because they would much rather stay in their little frame where they're comfortable with their friends, in their family. And yes, they want more for their life, but they're truly not willing to do that inner work that's required to break through and do it. And that's okay. That's okay if you're not too. Like that's your life path. Maybe in your next life path, you'll do something different. Okay. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody is in their own evolution, in their own world, what they're doing right now. I say that, like, everybody can do this if they truly want to be the one in their life. Like, Ed Milet has a great book called like Be the One or something like that, right? And he talks about the thermostat in our life of like, we have this whole thermostat where that's set. And the question is, when you reach the tipping point, are you going to break through and raise your own thermostat to go to that next level? Or are you going to turn that thermostat down because it just got too hot?
Yeah, that's so good. The thermostat. I was talking about it because I'm recording the modules right now, and I was talking about the thermostat and kind of your subconscious programming. But I think a big part of what sets your thermostat is your identity, like how you see yourself, your self-image. So, say you want to be a world-class speaker, right? If your thermostat is, well, I can only speak online, I'm not ready to speak on stages. You might get opportunities to go speak on stages, but you're going to self-sabotage, right? And you're not going to take that because you don't see yourself as the version who can do that. Now, you're going to do it sneakily, though. You're going to say, oh, well, I got a sales call on the weekend. I got some stuff in the business I got to take care of. I'd love to do it, but I can't do it, right? So you're going to make yourself feel good about it. But in reality, that's the best thing for you because that's what you want to do. But because your identity, your thermostat is set to 70, this hot opportunity is coming in at 95, but your thermostat's like, nope, we're going to come back down to 70. We're going to stay right here where it's comfortable in the familiar.
Yep.
Because the other part of it is it's the unknown. And I think that's part of entrepreneurship too, is like, we need to learn how to regulate our state. Like, our nervous system is a huge part of that because as we step into this unknown, our nervous system wants to protect us. Just like physiologically, like back in the day would be getting chased by a lion. It makes sense as we go into the unknown, the nervous system is going to go into fight or flight so we can protect ourselves. Our lives aren't at risk, but as you step into these newer and newer versions of yourself, it's going to feel uncomfortable. And you have to get used to that feeling of fear, right? And understand that fear is a liar and it's an illusion. If you could use your breath and different things to regulate your nervous system when you step into those new opportunities, that's what's going to allow you to do that. But if you just let that energy come in, it's going to, and you can't regulate it and you don't use your breath, it's like it like trips the circuit breaker. And then you go into fight or flight and you sabotage and you can't get into there. So regulating your state is huge. That's kind of the next thing I want to mention is living in this survival state. Because that, if you boil it down, like you boil it down to like the one-liner of like everything I'm talking about, it's like helping entrepreneurs stop living in survival mode and build a life from peace instead of pressure. So how have you, talk about maybe your experiences like living in more of a survival mode versus now how you're more grounded and calm than you have been in the past and what that's been like?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so you call it survival, and that's what I would call scarcity, right? And that's what that is, same exact thing. And then I've been able to do it where, like, and I've by no stretch have perfected it, right? Because I still this year, I caught myself at least 3 times acting in scarcity mode, right? And I was like, oh, okay, hold on a second, right? Getting myself involved in things that I shouldn't have gotten involved in. And then looking back at it and be like, oh, that was a scarcity move. That was a survival move right there. That wasn't the good one right there, right? And like so many lessons that came through this year for me, which I wouldn't have been able to recognize if I didn't take the time off towards the end of this year to really reflect back on like what transpired in my life, right? But to stick into this and break through of this, like I'm a man of faith, right? You know this about me, right? I believe in, now I'm not like, I believe in Jesus Christ, right? I don't really like organized religion, okay? Like at all. I do have a mission to read the Bible every single day this year, right? Because I think the Bible is a fantastic book of growth and lessons of what we can do, right? And I do believe in this man, Jesus Christ, that came down and died for our sins. Okay. And so in saying that, I would have never said that like 3 years ago if you talked to me. No, not a chance in hell. Okay. But what I can tell you is that going back and learning the lessons of my life of how God has shown up and always protected me and given me that faith in that, what people will call no fear. People call it your intuition, or we'll call it a voice that you hear. To me, what I've learned is that that's Jesus. That's the Holy Spirit guiding me, right? And so that's where I can, when I feel myself and the anxiety coming up, I simply have to stop. I start breathing, right? I do box breathing all the time. I
My
will
favorite.
pray,
Box
right?
breathing.
Yeah, absolutely. I pray and I just start trying to quiet my mind. And I literally all the time, I'll start breathing. I'll put my hand right on my heart and I'll start doing some box breathing. And then I will automatically turn that into breathing in rhythm with my heart and just being present with where I am right here and now, and just try and pull that veil of this mind, this ego away that's trying to continually live in the future, right? Because our mind is always trying to live in the future. It's always looking out on that horizon, right? And
pain only exists in the mind.
totally does, right? And so that's the whole thing. Like I'll even talk to myself saying that. Like I have like simple mantras where it'll be like, you're safe. There's nothing going on right now at all. You're completely protected. You're completely loved. I'll go into gratitude, start talking about all the wonderful things that I'm grateful for in my life, and just bring in that presence, right? And just remember how fortunate I totally am in this world and in this life, no matter what. Right. And so right there, by doing that and becoming present, my scarcity vanishes. My survival mode will vanish because I'll remember, right? Like you had talked about before, like the journey's almost about as you become an adult is remembering who you are.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I remember who I am, right? Like I am a miracle. I am a miracle that's been created out of love. Like that's who I am. Yeah. So what the hell am I worried about? Right? Like what am I worried about?
How you say too, like in the presence, it all vanishes, which actually makes sense because if this fear and this worry only exists in the mind, the second, and when you're in the mind, you're not in the now. So the second you get out of this mind, that fear vanishes, right? Because it's an illusion. And then in the present, all there is love, right? You're truly in the present, all there is love, right? But it's just about letting go of those thoughts. I think, like you say, the first thing of all this though is awareness. Like that is it. Like you have to be aware and catch yourself. And that's such a win for you this year, honestly. The fact that you went into those modes, but then at the end of the year, you're able to look back and recognize it. Like those are incredible lessons, right? And I'm sure every year there's going to be, the rest of our lives, there's going to be times we're not perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. But it's having the awareness, giving yourself forgiveness, and just taking the lesson and just keeping it going.
Oh, and that's the beautiful part of it all. And that's the willingness of knowing that you're never going to get it 100% right. Right. Yeah. And that there is no failure. Like that's the thing. Like people have to get over themselves first off. Like people have to realize that no matter what you're getting into, just get over yourself. No one really gives a crap what you're doing anyways. Like no one gives a crap. You know what I mean? Like you care way more about what you're doing than anybody does. So anybody that's telling you can't do something, I tell them off. Tell them to screw off, right? Like they do not matter. Go build the life that you want. It's that simple, right? Because the vast majority of people are miserable and will never, ever create the life that they want. So why are you giving two shits about them at all? Why are you even listening to them?
This right here, let me bring this up real quick.
Yeah.
This quote, I think you know this quote. Let me do this. I think it's this. There we go. And then I share screen. This StreamYard is great though. You can do all this different stuff.
I know. I got
banner going across the bottom, man. It's like great.
I like this. Build Impact, new episodes every Monday. I like this.
Just scrolling, as people come on, it's like even if they're on for a second. Yeah, I'm trying to do more lives. I was watching some content on it. It's like there was actually I guess it was like some soccer game. Alex Ramosi was talking about it. I have a love-hate relationship with Alex Ramosi. He has some good stuff, but he's all about stuff. But he was talking with Mr. Beast, like the guy on YouTube, the biggest guy on YouTube.
Of course, yeah. I
guess they had some soccer game, like celebrity soccer game, and they were talking about how the different levels of applause people got when they came on. The A-listers, like typical A-listers, got like a little bit of applause. People who made like short form content got a little bit more applause, pretty steady. the long form content people were like, yes, yes. And then the streamers were like, everyone's going nuts, right? Because it makes sense because you're on video the most. So people like get to know you the most versus just making a little bit of content. So what the hell? And lives are fun too. So you just come on here. It's whatever. It's really just for like people just to kind of just like see who you are and get to know you as a person.
And then you can take your lives, and then you can take your lives and your stream, and then you can cut that up into small, short form content too, right? Like it's a perfect.
Oh yeah, you gotta check out Opus Clip AI.
Oh, dude, I love it.
Dude,
oh yeah. Yeah, I kind of got away from making a lot of content in the last part of this year because I just wanted to unplug from everything.
Oh yeah.
But so I haven't really been, and my plan is to really stay pretty quiet this first quarter for first really. The Man in the Arena. I love this one. Yeah,
this is good, right?
Yes.
This speaks. Let me hit it better.
It's so true.
There's this. Can you see this?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
So the man in the arena, right? It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or how the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. His place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. What a great freaking.
Absolutely. It's the whole thing of my mother said it really good. My mom's one of the best inspirations like for me. Like I had two fantastic parents, right? I really did, right? Like my dad passed away when I was 23 and he was sick my whole entire life and like went blind when I was 6 and had both his legs amputated and like just like had all these health issues. But like actually it's a picture of like him over my door right here that I see right every single morning. Right. And I got my meditation chair over here and I can look over there and see him and everything like that. But it's like the epitome of never giving up, like no matter what, like the guy always had these health issues and just always still showed up. Right. And he died. And it's crazy because he actually died when he was 50, just after his 50th birthday. And I'm 50 this year, which is nuts to me, dude. Totally crazy to me. But, obviously he was a type 1 diabetic. I don't have those issues. So I'm much healthier than he ever was. And then my mom at that time was a homemaker. My father was a president of a bank. And he became like, ill and wasn't able to do that anymore and went on disability. And my mom was a homemaker. And then my mom ended up going out and building this unbelievable business as a headhunter, which was 100% commission, right? Very similar to like wholesaling, right? Wow. And this was like during the tech boom, right? And she ended up like making this huge business and did amazing things for herself and built a great life for us, and I always look at it and I'm like, wow, like what great examples of humans that I had to like be in my life. Right. And it's just like the part of, people not allowing themselves to get into the arena of life and play life drives me crazy. And so my mom told me the story of there's eagles and then there are ducks in this world, right? And there's going to be way more ducks than eagles. And those ducks are going to be quacking and quacking all day long. And then there's going to be the eagles that are actually going to go out there, take control of their life, and they're going to do what they say they're going to do. And they're going to soar in the clouds and they're going to build the life that they want. So you have the choice of either being a duck or an eagle. And it's just a choice. That's all it is. Right?
All day.
And it's like, and that is the man in the arena right there. That is what you want to do. It doesn't matter. And so I can't tell you how many times I failed in my life. Dude, I lost everything in 2009, right? Bankruptcy, foreclosure, lost everything, had to start everything all over again. Had an 18-month-old son at the time, like literally went and I was so down on myself, living in all sorts of guilt and shame, like went and took a job making $10 an hour, installed DirecTV dishes, right? And I was like 34 years old, just like awful, awful, awful. And it took me a long time to rebuild it. But like when I look back at it, it was also the greatest gift that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
It's awful going through it. It sucked, you know. But what I can tell you is that like it built me to be so resilient now that when things come up now, I'm like, oh, okay. And so and this is where the awareness comes, that survival mode, that scarcity mode, when things aren't going right, that version of me, that 1.0 version that you call it, right? That 1.0 version that lost everything, he still shows his face.
Oh yeah, he tries to claw his way back in. He's like banished him into the den, but he's like clawing up, trying to get up every now and again.
He doesn't want to die, right?
No.
He's like, I'm not going anywhere, dude. Right? And
Stomp
so
him out. You gotta stomp on his neck. Get him out.
And he doesn't want to go away. And so it's like, okay. So it's like, I look at him, I smile. Now I know when he's there. I'll just stop and I'll smile. Be like, I see you. I got you. I know what you're trying to do to me. But we don't play in that playground anymore. Like we don't play there anymore. Right? We go this way instead. Mm-hmm. Right? And so I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to recognize that unless I had gone through those life experiences that I went through and then worked on that stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know how deep you want to go on all this stuff, but I mean, I can get pretty deep on it all in regards to like our subconscious and our traumas and what it can do to us. So, you know, like when I was 10 years old, I think I've told you this before, but like when I was 10 years old, right? Like I was sexually abused and raped by my basketball coach, right? Now, I can freely talk about this now, but here's the thing. Like it happened to me when I was 10. I didn't know about this. My subconscious protected me so much. I didn't remember this until 33 years after the fact. When I was 43, when it all came back, when I started doing all this work on myself. And when I did this like regression therapy where I went through all this stuff. Now, mind you, like my mom, my wife, other people would ask me at times, like when I was younger, it'd be like, because of ways I would act sometimes, they'd be like, were you sexually abused at all? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? I'm totally fine. Not at all. You know what I mean? Because I was super protective of my son. And I didn't realize this, but I was super protective of my son when any other male was around him at all when he was a kid. And I didn't even realize it, but I would be like, I could feel it. And like people that would never do anything to him, like they would never do anything to him, right? Like my aunts, my uncles, my you know, his grandfather, all this stuff, they wouldn't do anything to him. But like I would always be like, is this guy gonna do something to my kid? Right. And I didn't realize it until I actually like went through this process of going back into this memory of when this took place. And then at the same time, when I looked back after the whole entire thing, I literally purged this out of my body. Like, you ever read the book, The Body Keeps the Score?
Dude, it's on my thing. Like, I want to read it so bad. It keeps coming up. You bringing up again, which makes me think I need to read it.
Amazing book. It's also really good because we're both from New England, and like the person that wrote it is from that area, so they kind of like tie.
Is it a woman or a male?
It's a female, and so there's that, and then like Michael Singer, right? We all know him. He calls them samskaras, right? These things, right? Eckhart Tolle, he calls them, he might just call them blockages, energetic blockages, but he called whatever they are, samskara blockages, whatever it would be, like a new earth. He goes, Eckhart Tolle in A New Earth really goes down this path as well.
He calls it something. I forget what it is. He calls it like living in the pain of the body or something.
Yeah, yes, the pain of the body. Yep, that's what, something like that. Yep. And so, these things and these energies that get stored in us and they hold us back and they show up all the time.
That's triggered, right? Like they trigger us.
Yep. Yep. And so now I did this process, and it's a deep meditation. It's called pit walking, where I can go in now. I've trained myself, and I do this with my clients as well, because I can't do this with everybody because there's like work that goes to get to this point, right? You know what I mean? But like, it's this deep meditation that I get into, and we go in and we literally find these traumas and we expound them and we get them out of our energy fields. And it's like the greatest thing in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
It's the most freeing thing in the world. And we all have them. And here's the thing, like I've gone back and I've done these so many times that I've gone back to past lives where I've had these happen. And I've been able to take care of things from past lives that I've brought to this one. Now, some people might not believe in past lives, whatever, and that's fine, wherever you are on your journey. I wholeheartedly know of them and believe in them. We are simply a bag of flesh, right? Like literally, this is all our body is. And we are just a soul. And currently, like my name happens to be Gordon Thornton. Like my soul, though, is just incarcerated inside of this body for a short period of time. And then I'll die and I'll get to be free again. And I'll get to go somewhere else.
Get to go back to love.
And I'll be all set. And that's why, like, I'm not afraid to die at all. Like, not one bit. Because I know, and I believe this is one of Jesus's biggest teachings that has been manipulated. Because this is what men do. This is what people do. I shouldn't just say men, but this is what people do, is manipulate stories. But Jesus's main thing is about death and rebirth. Yeah. And that's our same exact story too, is that it's about death and rebirth. Right. And like another really crazy thing is that like my son has the exact same birthday as my dad. They were born 60 years apart, never met each other, born the exact same time, exact same day, 60 years apart. Like, I don't know. You tell me what's going on. Who knows? Maybe this thing's going on in this world that we don't know about. I don't know. But like, you know, and I know that like there's so many things that happen that my dad had to die for my son to be born. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. Right. And it's so freeing knowing that this life is just temporary. This life is just temporary. So living in this frame that we think, this frame that we live in, that we feel like we have to control everything when we don't control shit anyways. We don't, right?
Where all the suffering comes from, trying to control everything.
Yeah.
You control it all. And it falls on your shoulders, doesn't it? Everything's perfect. It's all working out in your favor.
It always has. Always has. Even the day I die, it's worked out perfectly.
And you know what I think too is interesting way to think about this is when you say you want to, you have a vision for where you want to get in your life. And maybe it feels like a soul calling, like I know this is what I need to do. You're at A, you're trying to get to Z. Your brain's going to map it out logically. You need to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z. The universe, though, and God, it's going to say, okay, you want to get there? The quickest way to go there is we're actually going to go A, R, B, Q, L, N, O, B. Then we're going to get to Z, right? But every time that you're jumping around like that, your mind is like, oh, this failure or this setback, oh my gosh, it's not, I am off track because it's not going the logical way that I anticipate. When in reality, it's all perfect because you needed that setback. You needed that challenge to learn a certain lesson so you could be the person that can hold that future. Amen. So when we relax into that and realize that, hey, it's just jumping around, but it's actually the quickest way. Let me surrender to everything. Life becomes about this flow, right? And you're in it. You're in it.
100%. It's that surrender, man. It's that surrender of just trusting, having that faith that everything is going to work out. That everything is going to work out. Right? Like I read this thing the other day and it was so perfect. It says, oh, are we ready? It's right here. I got it. So it says, and this is from Living Untethered, right? This is a Michael Singer thing too.
That book is wicked good. The third one, right?
It is, yeah. And so he says this, he says, we live in a world that is so perfect, it should constantly blow our minds. But we are so lost in making it all personal that we miss both the greatness of science and the greatness of God. It's like, stop making your life personal. Stop being so selfish about your own life. You know what I mean? Like it's, and if you're on that selfish path, it's okay. But understand that that only can be temporary. And you might be in survival mode because you have to be in survival mode. And I get that. I freaking get that to the core. Trust me. I mean, trust me, like I lost everything. Like I said, I've lost everything and had to start all over again. It sucks. But do what you have to do. As long as you're not taking advantage of anybody else, do what you have to do. And then you'll get through it. And then you'll realize that that's just your first mountain. That's it. And then there's another, the second mountain is about service, and it's about providing value and really truly creating the life that God wants you to create, not for you, but for others.
Yeah, and I think one of the important things is once you're climbing the second mountain and once you do the inner work, the real goal begins to operate from overflow, meaning that you are doing things because you're already so whole and complete on the inside. You just want to give it away. I never understood what that meant. Operate in overflow. What does that mean? It means that you are not doing things because you feel lack on the inside. You're not doing these things to make you feel complete, like building a business or doing anything. You're doing them because you just want to. You don't need to do it. You feel so good inside. You wake up every single day. You could not do anything to be happy. But you have so much love in you that it's just like the energy wants to move, and you have to speak your truth. You have to take action, and that's how you want to build your life, from a place of overflow. Right? I like to say, move when inspired, rest when tired. Move when inspired, rest when tired. Honor rest. Rest is actually productive.
Oh,
that's a belief I had to redo as well. It's like rest is productive, because you can only work so much where then your unit per output decreases, right? So it's like just rest. And rest when you rest and work when you work. Don't be doing this and that. So, and that's what I have to work with. Like, I went on a vacation to Sandbridge. I should have done what you did. That's my programming. I can't even go on a break for freaking 7 days. Or I can.
I know. It's like you got to go somewhere, right? It's like, okay, I'm on vacation. I got to go travel the world and see it. Which is beautiful, dude. That's awesome, and that's like what you should do.
No, I'm just saying, I was in Sandbridge on a family vacation, and I was like, I wasn't doing real estate work. I was doing other stuff. Like, I could not unplug for 7 days, right? I didn't. But I should have made that commitment. Next, I think I should do what you do every year. Once a year, 2 weeks, I should be like, I'm not allowed to do anything. I need to go on a hike, put my phone away, and just reflect deep. You know, because it's my programming. It's my subconscious programming. I need to work to unravel. And I'm still aware of it now. I'm always trying to multitask. Like, I'm cooking eggs. I'm trying to watch a podcast. Like, what am I doing? And I'm like burning the eggs and shit's falling apart. I'm like, dude, just don't watch the podcast. Just cook the eggs. You don't need to be doing it.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. I mean, that's how we're wired, and it's like even that hustle culture of like we're trying to like hack and biohack everything and be as productive as we can. Like, dude, I go walking. I take my dog for a 3-mile walk every single morning, but I can't just walk normally. I have to put a weighted vest on, right? Yeah. Because I got to make sure I got to make my body strenuous, right? Like, I have to like make it an actual workout. I can't just go and enjoy a walk, right? Like, I gotta like come home and I gotta like eat my breakfast and I got to get all my supplements in. I got to do all this. Like, it's just like this crazy stuff. And I'm like,
but you're conscious of it. And that stuff is good it is good. It's good stuff. I think the biggest thing is being conscious of it and understanding, hey, and being intentional. Like, okay, if you do want to listen to a podcast while you're on a walk, great. But why don't we mix in a few walks where we're not doing that? And if you can't do that, then that's where some problems are. If we physically, I can't just do something in silence. It's like, okay, what are we really talking about here? You know,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's so much. It's fun, dude. I mean, it all just depends on where you are on your path too. Like, and that's okay. There's times where it's like you said, when it's time to work, it's time to work. And like, you'll just, I have no problem working 12, 15, 16-hour days if I need to. And I'll just for day and night and just keep going. Right. And if there's like a project that I got to get done, if there's a whatever it would be that I have to get done, I will go, because that'll be the time to do it. But then at the same point, I also have no problem taking my foot off the gas and being like, I need to rest, because if I don't, I'm going to burn myself out. And so most people, like, there's some people you'll see on the internet or whatever, and they'll be like, on social media, they'll be like, you gotta grind and hustle and do this every day and blah, 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 and gotta go hard and blah, blah, blah. There's no.
It hurts me in my soul, dude. Hurts me in my soul when I see that. I'm just like, no.
I'm like, all right. And then I see it and I'm like, got it. But you're still on the first mountain. And that first mountain, it doesn't matter to me if you have $1 billion in the bank. I can tell if you're still on the first mountain. Because that's what you've defined yourself as, and you think that the more money you make is going to make you more full.
And yeah, I think it's like, and we're just here to meet people on their journey. Like, if they still believe that, then that's great. It's like, and if they want that, like, we're not here to change that. We're here for the people that have already done that and who want a better way, and they want a different way of doing it. Like whatever works for you, man. Like if that works for you, and you like being in fear all the time, then go do it. Right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
not how I do this, but I'm just saying there is a better way. And it's like you can have your cake and eat it too. Meaning that having some level of external success shouldn't cost you your mental health, shouldn't cost you your peace of mind, So don't let it.
Right.
Because as long as you believe that, and the thing is, we're influenced by people because, again, just because it's someone else's truth that they had to grind and struggle and be miserable for 4 years to build a business doesn't mean that has to be our truth. Okay, yes, they got the outcome that they wanted, but you get to decide if there's a better way to do it. So and it's like, well, all these people did it and they said it had to be hard. Okay. If you want to fight for that belief, great. You can keep that belief and that's what it's going to be. But you get to choose. And I think it's so simple that it's got to be a better way. We're playing victim, but no, Jake, it's different for me. Different for me. I got this situation. I'm not healthy and I'm divorced and all this stuff. It's like, okay, I get it. It's hard. It's challenging. What do you want me to do? Give you a golden star? It's like, yeah, life sucks sometimes. It's hard. But how do you want to wake up every single day and operate? You get the choice.
Yep. No, everybody has their own unique story, but understand that it's all just an excuse and it's all just some sort of resistance. Actually, speaking of that, have you ever read the book The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield?
Oh yeah, I get them confused with the other one. The Art of War and the War of Art. I think it's the War of Art.
I think it's
the Art of War is the Lao Tzu, right?
It's the one. The one I'm speaking of is by Stephen Pressfield, which is a small little book, but it's all about the resistance inside of us and overcoming the resistance and breaking.
The War of Art.
Right. And it's so good because we all have it. We all have a story. Like that's the thing. Like I can come up with a story too. Everybody can. Right. But at the same point, do you want to live in your stories or do you want to create new stories? Because that's the truth too, is that you can literally lift your own veil and your own glasses that you have that you're wearing of how you see the world. You literally can take that veil off and you can create a whole new life and a whole new story. For not just, don't do it for you. If don't even do it for you, do it for the generation that's coming behind you.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
That's right. Yeah, it's this book, right?
Yes, it's that one.
And the War of Art.
Break through the blocks and win. Yeah, I read that at least once a year. I think I've read it probably 7 or 8 times now. It's a super quick, easy read.
Yeah, I haven't reread that. A lot of these foundational books I've read like a while ago.
Yeah.
The thing too is like spaced repetition learning. That's the best way to learn. Meaning like you consume something, you wait a period of time, and you go back and consume it again. That's when you really get the goods out of it. But some of these foundational books, go back.
And the second time you read it, dude, like I read any book that's spoken to me at one point in time, I'll reread them like you said, like again, a year, 2, 3 years later, and I'll get a whole different message from it because you know what? I'm a different person now that's reading this book too. And I'm now getting the message that I'm supposed to be getting from this book that I didn't see before because I got something else from it before as well, or audiobooks. Audiobooks are great that way too. Yeah.
Check out this quote. I want to share one more with you. We can kind of hop off whenever you're warm here. My grandpa shared this one with me actually before I bring it up. My grandfather on my mom's side, he worked in the corporate world, but he was like the VP of MasterCard way back when, before they were public. But so he was in the business world for a while, but he had a quote, I guess, that he kept on his desk all the time. And it was this one. And it's Press On by Calvin Coolidge. But it says that nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a problem. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. The slogan "Press On" has solved and always will solve problems of the human race. Keep going. Get back on that horse.
Yep. Even when you don't want to.
Even when you don't.
But you can also decide that you're going to get back on that horse with a whole different perspective, right? 100%. And that's the key part. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right? So yeah, keep on, but also make sure that you are coming in from a different perspective, a different lens, an aligned lens of who it is that you truly are, and build that life that you truly speaks to yourself. Like, not just this mind ego, but this I am heart that, and when you're operating and you're doing what you should do, right? Like for me, real estate these days sucks life out of me. Sucks out of me, right? And that's okay. Like it had a point in a spot in my life for a long time. And it still does. Like I still do stuff. I still do projects. Like we're developing some land and we're doing land home projects and we're building affordable housing and like, cause I like that stuff. Right. Yeah. But I'm only doing that and we've done it so often that we can do it at a small scale, right? Like it doesn't have to be so consuming of time.
Yeah.
Right? And so I can spend most of my time now doing more things of what I love and helping other people.
Yeah.
Which is what it's truly all about, because being and building like this massive real estate wholesale business, while it sounds great, just never really sat well with me. Just never sat well with me.
It's great. Yeah. And I think another point to recognize too is like, maybe you do feel like the way you're operating hasn't been the way you want to operate. It doesn't mean that you have to completely go away from what you're doing. You could also go into what you're doing with a new perspective and a new lens. That's another way that you can alter. So maybe you do completely go away from what you're doing, and it's this dramatic change. It could also be just a shift in how you're looking at things. Mm-hmm. So both are good.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So good.
Works very
Cool. I love it, man.
I appreciate your time. It's great.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me on. It's been good seeing you.
We gotta get that retreat going, man.
Yes. Yes, we have to. We'll connect again on WhatsApp because we definitely need to get that rolling. Yes. Have you heard from him at all recently?
No. I am having him on here. I think like in a couple weeks.
Cool. I like it.
But,
That'll be good. What do you got? What's that?
We got to get together in person. We haven't been together in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should have our own trip somewhere cool.
All right, I'm ready, dude. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Wait, my main goal this year is to literally, especially after taking this last time off and realizing how awesome it's been and reflective it has been, and I'm literally I'm scheduling out way more free time for myself, enjoying life a lot more going forward.
Well, I mean, what's the point of doing all this, anyways?
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
All right, brother. Till next time. For everyone, all the peace, all the power.
God bless, dude.